Dairy farmers will milk more than 8 million cows in the U.S. this year. Most dairy farms are still family-run operations like this one in Albany, Ohio. But what sets this one apart is the relationship between the farmer and a self-proclaimed dairy evangelist.
I think that the experience of enjoying dairy products is hardwired in human beings. I still feel good when I'm drinking a glass of good, fresh milk.
Warren Taylor is passionate about milk. The Central Ohio producer believes that consumers should be able to enjoy milk that he says is richer, creamier, and tastes much closer to what nature intended. And he loves to share samples to illustrate his point. It tastes like you've added vanilla to this.
Yes.
And that you've sweetened it.
Absolutely. And that's
there's
cold,
nothing
concentrated, nothing added.
Warren earned a college degree in dairy technology. That led to a career designing dairy plants, some of which process and bottle millions of gallons of milk each year.
After I'd had a career designing and building some of the largest milk processing plants in the world, I decided that it was time to design maybe one of the smallest economically viable local old-fashioned little creamery.
Wanting to reach consumers looking for something different in dairy, Warren established Ohio Snowville Creamery. His processing technique creates milk that tastes slightly different from what others may be pouring from the bottle. Warren says it's a taste that goes back generations.
The flavor of fresh milk is unique, and unfortunately, a lot of people haven't tasted it anymore. They don't even know what it is. And so when I sample milk in a grocery store, the thing I hear the most is wow. People can taste it. They just haven't been used to tasting it.
His recipe doesn't start by using a different type of cow. Instead, Warren puts them on a different type of diet.
It begins with the cows that are on grass. They live their whole life outdoors. The only time they're under roof is when they're being milked. And their principal diet is grass. They only eat a few pounds of grain every day. So these cows are smaller bodied. They produce less milk, but the milk is very rich and delicious.
To assist him in developing his dairy products, Warren turned to friend and farmer Bill Dix. Dix has been raising grass-fed dairy cows for 20 years, adjusting the grass-fed options daily by rotating the animals over several pastures.
Well, these cows get fresh grass after every milking. Every milking, they go on a new piece of pasture that hopefully, ideally, is just perfect grazing. And you want to farm staggered in growth so that every day when those cows leave the milking parlor, there's a pasture that it has the perfect feed for a lactating cow.
Warren pays a premium for the milk he receives from area farmers to offset the fact that grass-fed cows produce less milk than those raised on grain. He says supporting those farmers is important for his product and his rural community.
We share that value with the farmers. So we've made a difference in our dairy farmers' business lives, in those families. And in addition, we have 30 full-time employees here in the second poorest, second most underemployed county in the state of Ohio.
Warren's milk is pasteurized to meet food safety guidelines, but at a lower, legally allowed temperature. As for homogenization,
a lot of people confuse pasteurization and homogenization. Homogenization is the process by which the fat is broken down to be so small that it remains evenly distributed in the milk even though it weighs a lot less. So with our milk, the cream rises to the top. So
and you shake it before you drink it.
Shake before enjoy. That's right.
Because of that fat content, the creamery's final products have a very different look. The ice cream mix is a bit thicker, and the milk's color is not what you might see in other containers.
It's a more opaque white, but it's also a more yellow white. And when you homogenize milk, you literally make it more white. So our whole milk, you really see it in it. It's yellowy milk, just as our whipping cream is extremely yellow.
Another aspect of Warren's dairy operation is shipping the creamery's milk only a limited distance, cutting down the time from cow to customer.
We go to great effort to get our milk into grocery stores just as quickly as we can. If our milk hasn't sold within 10 days of it being produced and bottled, it's taken off the shelf.
Snowville Creamery bottles about 9,000 gallons of milk a week, shipping its bottled products to stores across the Ohio Valley and into retail markets in Washington, D.C. as well. Snowville Creamery is one of a growing number of farms across the Heartland that target a specific segment of the retail market, giving consumers some additional food choices and providing options for farmers as well.
The major satisfaction is we're putting out superior food, and people seem to be appreciating it. And that's where the real satisfaction comes.
So it's the reaction of people to the experience, to the taste, that I think gives me the greatest pleasure. It still raises the hair on my arm.